immigration is as American as apple pie, as spaghetti, as Kung Pao chicken, right? All those things are American, right? It's a big mix, and that's the greatest thing about this country. So we are pleased tonight to have someone talk to us about an issue that is extremely important. We started working on this a couple of months ago, I think, in terms of setting it up, and it turns out the timing couldn't be better. So we're pleased to have a couple speakers. I mean, Jack Parr made a joke one time, and he said that immigration is the sincerest form of flattery. And it's no longer a joke, unfortunately. It is flattering that people want to come to our country, but it is an issue and it is a problem. So we're happy tonight to have Dr. Stephen Steinlight from the Center for Immigration Studies. He is a senior policy analyst at the Center and reporting on a wide range of immigration questions. He's spoken to groups across the country like ours, as well as to Congress. He is a Phi Beta Kappa graduate of Columbia University and currently an associate fellow of the Timothy Dwight College at Yale University. Our other speaker tonight is Rebecca Forrest. She will give us an update on what's happening in Texas. She is the president and founder, one of the co-founders of ERCOT, which is an Immigration Reform Coalition of Texas, and has addressed the Texas legislature on numerous occasions. She's been active in organizing a grassroots group called the Austin Town Hall, which she organized in 2003. And one final person that I'd like to introduce who will join in the question and answer session is Jolene Reynolds. Jolene, she's volunteered to help candidates throughout the state in terms of state races and U.S. representative races. She lived for many years in Houston and is the founder of the Magic Circle Women's Republican Club, which was Barbara Bush's Republican Club. So we're happy to have her, and she's also active in immigration issues. So with that, I will turn it over to Dr. Steinlight.
Thanks very, very much. It's terrific to be here. And good evening. It's an honor and a pleasure to address the Coppell Republican Club, and I understand that some Tea Party folks here too. It's great to have you. I'd like to express my gratitude to David Bitterman, your president, for inviting me, and to thank all of you for coming tonight. I'm very, very pleased to be here with Rebecca Forrest, president and founder of Immigration Reform Coalition of Texas. She's one of the leading figures in this state, fighting for an immigration policy that preserves American values and interests, chief among them U.S. sovereignty and respect for the rule of law. She is a tireless warrior, and I am proud to call her my friend and my ally. I also want to thank my very good friend and ally, Jolene Reynolds, former president of Texans for Immigration Reform in Houston and an active member of the Republican Party here in Dallas. I'm going to divide my time between two questions, speculating about the likelihood of passage of comprehensive immigration reform in 2010, and second, what I believe that would mean to the GOP now or, quite frankly, at any time. Fools rush in where angels fear tread, but I'll do just that, and I'm going to give you my political horoscope. I can say unequivocally that the 111th Congress will not pass an immigration reform bill. I doubt an immigration reform bill will so much as come to the floor of the Senate. I have said that was 100% certainty until Arizona's SB 1070, thank God, was signed into law on April 23rd by Governor Jan Brewer. That ignited a firestorm, causing the president, who is habitually lackadaisical on immigration, to weigh in and give Majority Leader Harry Reid the excuse he has been praying for to contemplate moving legislation. They emphasized the word contemplate. In the last few days, we've been told the Majority Leader won't be, quote-unquote, fast-tracking it, whatever difference that makes. Now we have Senator Reid toiling away as fast as he can with his little sad group of two other Democratic senators, sketching out the outline of the bill. Each of them would have denounced as too far to the right in 2007. That shows, by the way, that we're winning. The whole agenda has shifted to the right. The unavoidable concessions to common sense don't matter, though. No Republican will touch this, nor will many Democrats. This is going to be a long, hot summer. There are going to be scores of angry, impassioned demonstrations by illegal aliens and their supporters across the country. It will bring out thousands, maybe even tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands. But that group of non-voters, assuming the election is clean, will be more than overmatched by the political power of Americans who have reached their wits' end and are furious about present anarchy. Those Americans in their millions will be calling and emailing their members of Congress and the Senate. Far more importantly, the demonstrations are going to spur them to come out on November 5th. I know it. So do the members of Congress on both sides of the aisle. And we all know whom they fear most, and if you don't have any, if you're not certain about that, just look in the mirror. If the bill goes forward, the end of this Congress is going to be a time of bitterly divisive politics, angry demonstrations, clashes between groups, and a lot of toxic rhetoric. It's going to culminate with Republicans and Democrats on Capitol Hill kind of caught like figures in a Greek tragedy, trapped by the fates in a scenario that neither side really would have chosen, headed for competing disasters. Democrats would alienate great numbers of their voters in states suffering from a deep recession. They're centrists, they're moderate conservatives, they're working class voters, that is to say, Reagan Democrats. Republicans will alienate Hispanics. It is a lose-lose proposition for the parties. The bill will fail. It will cause considerable collateral damage, but the biggest losers will be the Democrats. If they are foolish enough to go ahead with immigration reform, I guarantee you they will lose at least the House of Representatives. By predicting that the bill will be defeated, not even introduced quite possibly, is not to be interpreted, not for a nanosecond, as a reason for our sitting on our hands. Congress is capable of anything, and it counts on our passivity. We cannot afford to lower our vigilance. If we rededicate ourselves to what we have done 3 times before, when comprehensive immigration reform was introduced, we sent off emails and faxes and made phone calls. We kept our members profoundly frightened of us. That is the only way to deal with a member of Congress. Make them afraid of you, because the only principle they care about is incumbency. Make them afraid of you, and we will win again. Now, before providing broader, more nuanced reasons for this prediction, let me start with the most obvious one. The most insurmountable barrier to immigration reform is it's not practical. Congress's legislative agenda is so jammed, packed through the summer, that shoehorning in as controversial a third-rail issue as immigration, simply a non-starter, makes the bill unpassable. It would fail and likely derail more realistic goals. The congressional agenda includes overhauling financial regulation. This won't take terribly long, but it's not going to happen immediately. The Republicans don't want to sign on to Dodd's bill. They want a bill of their own. Passing an energy climate bill and a Supreme Court confirmation. Now, Senator Reid has told Senator Schumer that he also wants to take up campaign finance reform on the 4th of July. What is he thinking? After Labor Day, lawmakers are going to head to the campaign trail for November elections. Polls find that most Americans want them to focus on jobs. Not that our wishes count for too much. Cardinal Mahoney of Los Angeles compared the legal regime established in Arizona by SB 1070 in Nazi Germany and Stalinist Russia. Disgrace. Proof if further evidence were required about the kind of moral idiocy and the lack of Christian charity that results from narrowly sectarian perspectives and fanaticism about an issue, in this case, amnesty. Less hyperbolically, the President has called it misguided and directed the Justice Department to examine it for potential violations of civil rights. That kind of gesture is classic Obama with regard to immigration. Sanctimonious rhetoric, but no movement on legislation. I should add the word hypocritical to sanctimonious, because what Arizona has done is fulfill one of the President's most urgent and unmet responsibilities, and that is protecting our borders and our sovereignty. It's hard to know whether the Hispanic caucus is prepared to be mollified by an apolitical response this time. Right now, that looks unlikely. The appearances are deceiving. It's hanging tough, hoping for a maximum outcome, but who knows? If the President feels this bill is dead on arrival and threatens the rest of his agenda, he may do no more than he announced last week or so, and he will have Attorney General Holder sue Arizona and seek an injunction against 1070 to see whether it quote-unquote violates people's civil rights. And Holder will undoubtedly be joined by the usual suspects, every Hispanic legal defense organization, the ACLU, the SPLC, and every other ethnic, racial ambulance chaser in the business, seeking to stop Arizona's implementation.